Yo, what is the deal, everybody? What is the deal? Welcome to another Raider Nation Unlimited. I'm your man, Wasted Talent. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to everybody on YouTube. Everybody that is here on Twitter. It's not Twitter anymore. It's X, but I'm old. Get wasted with your brother, Wasted. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is an afternoon waste. And to be honest with all of you, this is a celebration, guys. Now, I have not invited any guests because this was a spur of the moment thing. I didn't think I'd have time to do this today, and I'm taking advantage. I got a little time, right? It's snowing outside here on the East Coast. I wanted to first start off the show, and we have over 100 in the room. Get wasted with your brother, Wasted. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I first want to start off the show by showing my appreciation for every single one of you guys, whomever's out there who can hear the sound of my voice. This little platform started a few years ago on the heels of us being inside. It was after COVID. Now, I think I started my platform, I think 2022, 2023. I haven't really been at it that long, but I was welcomed and embraced by the nation, right? I was welcomed and embraced by, a lot of content creators that were viable, namely to start, Graphic Raider, my partner in crime. He at the time, he didn't know me from a can of paint, and I didn't know him from a can of paint. And, Graph really, really embraced me. He encouraged me to continue and to start a podcast. I went on his show as a guest, and I had some other things jumping off, but it wasn't something that I was looking to really, really take seriously. And Graph and empower me and encourage me to start my own show, and I did. And as soon as the show started, it hit, and you guys have been here ever since. Some of the guys along the way who really helped me out is Hammer. Hammer had a show, and I know I've told this story before, but Hammer, I was home because I was sick, and Hammer, used to do his daytime show when he was at his last job, and every day I used to go on Hammer's show for like a week or two, and I got more comfortable being on the air, being on Hammer's show. So salute to my brother Hammer. Andy brought me on his show. You know what I mean? And got comfortable over there. Simone Raider, really, really, he helped me out. He sent guys over to my channel. He came to my channel and graced us with his presence, and he didn't have to do that. He didn't know me from a can of paint, and he supported me right off the bat. I want to say salute to Samoan. I want to say salute to Murph and Swag. Those guys supported me right off the bat. Allow me to come on their program. They came over here. They showed love. I want to send some respect and love to Broshmo. If you guys don't know, so Broshmo is one of the preeminent voices when it comes to scouting and college football content on YouTube. Go over there and go check my guy Broshmo out. Broshmo, big help to me initially, and also Mitchell Renz. Mitch didn't have to come over here and support me. I got no problem with the guy, man. I don't always align with some of the stuff that we don't align with the way we go about our business. But he's not a bad guy at all, and I really appreciate his support and his audience's support. You know what I mean? Sanjeet T. I mean, what can I say about Sanjeet, man? Sanjeet was amazing. Sanjeet always has supported. Sanjeet has always sent guys my way. As far as, subscribers and things like that, he's always been a person that's been in the corner of the shield, more guys over here. Last but not least, man, my brother, Big Mike Raider, man, is my friend. He's a great person, man. He's been a welcomed addition to the team, and he definitely, has made me a smarter football man. Big Mike, Andy, all of these guys, man. Raid the tape. When Raid was rocking and rolling, Raid was a big help and a big support. Salute the Raid as well. You know what I mean? Real good guy. Just man, everybody at Mo Moten, Mo, definitely, man. I can't believe I forgot to mention my brother Mo, and I hope he gets his Twitter page back. But Mo, you know, I knew Mo before this, and Mo was just a great guy, man, and he's always supported. JT the Brick. JT the Brick right now, you know, we currently we work together and stuff. He's been an amazing guy. He has supported my platform. I support his platform. You know what I mean? And you know, there's some people who try to take shots at JT, man. But you know what? The one thing you can't take a shot at him about is how much he loves the Raiders and how he's put on for the nation throughout the years. Salute to JT the Brick, man, and salute to him for supporting me, supporting my platform, and I support him 100%. Man, so I mean, so many people, man. Mo, if anybody, if there's anybody I've forgotten, you know, forgive, you know, my head, not my heart. But thank you guys. You know what I'm saying? That anybody has supported this platform, my brother Ant from Men of Order, all the guys over at Men of Order, of course, my brother Chad Lemoyne, definitely, my partner. You know what I mean? When we were doing Men of Order, we started. You know, just all of the guys over at Men of Order as well. You know what I'm saying? My brother Brody. You know, Brody, big support system there. Thor from the Raider Nation Drinking Club, my guy. And yo, salute to the man, Violator too, man. Salute to the Violator, bro. This brother has always supported, man, and he gave me the battery on my back to continue with my platform because I was going to stop, you know. And I had a conversation with him, man, and he really, and he didn't even realize how much he inspired me to continue to keep going, man. But you know, listen, guys, I know I've rambled on thanking everybody. I want to thank every single one of you guys, all the Hug D's of the world. Yo, LV Maximus, my brother Halo Raider. Geez, man, freaking Taino Raider. I mean, Bodega. As much as I block him every damn day, CGR, of course, the My Father extraordinaire. You know what I'm saying? My brother Top Beats, of course. Steve Becker. You know, Steve Becker is a My Father extraordinaire. Appreciate that, brother, man. He's always supporting me on Instagram, hyping me up, man. That's my guy, man. Cream Corn. My guy, Cream Corn. Yo, OGDA, man, personal friend of mine, good brother, man. Always shows support, man. I mean, everybody, man. Listen, Paper Chase. I mean, all of these guys, man. I mean, brother, look, man. Frank Jarmilio, Raider Dangerfield, man. All these guys, man. All you guys on the Get Off My Lawn gang, man. I appreciate you guys, man. And you know, I just want you guys to know that we're gonna continue. Yo, my guy, my guy Jamba Juice with his old stale Jamba Juice, Martin from way across the pond, Tessier. I mean, DeMarcus Webb, of course. DeMarcus Webb is my first mod, man. That's my brother, man. Just all of y'all, man. Like, yo, Darth Raider Prime, cracking me up all the goddamn time. I mean, all of y'all, man. Yo, thank you guys. Thank you. Appreciate y'all. We're gonna get to the show. I know I went on a little bit longer, but I just, you know, to have 4 million views in such a short time on a channel that does preeminently live content is huge. I don't do the clickbaity stuff. You know, and I don't do a lot of shorts and stuff like that, which I probably should do more of that. I think I am. You see, I'm getting in that short algorithm too. But man, I want to thank every single one of y'all, man. And no, I think it's time to get to the show. Man. All of the essential workers in the place too, man. Salute. Van City. Oh my God, man. My guy Van City Ray. How the hell I'm gonna forget about Jordy? How the hell I'm gonna forget about oh my guys, man. Yo, all of y'all in the Get Off My Lawn gang. Yo, salute, big respect, big love and support, man. Yo, Ben Bad, definitely. The originator of the Get Off My Lawn gang. How could I forget, man? But thank y'all, man. Appreciate you guys, man. So look, man. I think, the Flying Wonderful Yvette Niles. I mean, how can we forget about the Flying Wonderful, man? Freight Train, man, all y'all, man. But y'all pay y'all bar tabs, man. Listen, it's time for us to get rocking and rolling, y'all. It's time for us to get rocking and rolling. Now, look, y'all, I don't necessarily know, and salute to the new members. Salute to my guy, Bobby Rasuli, became a YouTube member, becoming a member to get off my lawn, gang. I see that silver and black in your beard, my brother. Yo, I appreciate you, bro. You were at home. You were amongst friends, yo. And guys, the link to join the channel is right there, yo. Salute to my brother, CGR, gifting 5 Raider Nation Unlimited memberships, man. Appreciate y'all, man, for joining to get off my lawn, gang. P. Diggity, my guy, became a YouTube member. But guys, look, it's definitely time for us. And shout out to my guy, yo, Bobby Rasuli, man, for the $2 slap of Rooney, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. And thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate you, man. I try, man. I try to maintain, you know, the Raider drip godness. But we got almost, 400 in the room. Y'all share this thing out to all social media, bro. Listen, the Mike McDaniel situation, man. I know y'all want to talk about that. But you got to wait, because there's more things that are going on here than just the Mike McDaniels situation or Mike McDaniel. There is a dark horse candidate. There is a dark horse candidate, man. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you, man. There is a dark horse candidate out there for this job, guys. There's a dark, and I'm not going to reveal it yet. I am not going to reveal it yet, but I'm telling y'all right now, there is a dark horse candidate. And the Raiders are about to interview said dark horse candidate. And his name is Ejiro. And listen, man, he is a defensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. And let me tell you something, man. This is a guy who, to me, if he does, get this job, right, it'll be because the Raiders are in a situation where, they want to get a coach kind of before. And Q Myers spoke to this about some of these guys, right? Some of these guys that the Raiders are considering, guys like Davis Webb and guys like Ejiro, right? These are guys that people are not really talking about as head coaches. They're guys that are getting interviews, but they're not guys that people are talking about as head coaches. And the thing is this, man, if you think back to when, John Gruden was hired, John Gruden was widely regarded as a young offensive talent, but it wasn't like he was the hottest, candidate on the market. And what Al Davis did with John Gruden was he bought low and he sold high. He got, if we're going to harken back to the stock market, he got John Gruden really at the infant stages of his IPO opening up. He got John Gruden when most people were not really considering him as a head coach. And shout out to Q. I remember that. And he jogged my memory with that. And I'm going to be real with you. Some of these interviews kind of harken back to that, the Davis Webb interview. But like the Raiders are beginning their second wave of interviews. Ejiro's the first one who is an interviewee getting a second interview. And that's largely because they did some of those beginning interviews by Zoom, right? So he is the first guy to have a second interview with the Raiders. And that's as per Jeremy Fowler of ESPN. They're setting up the in-person interview with Panthers defensive coordinator Ejiro next week. He will be interviewed Monday, the same day that they will be interviewing McDaniel. And this is the day of the national championship game. Now, Ejiro has been the Panthers defensive coordinator since 2023. He took the job under Frank Reich. And Carolina finished at the bottom of the league defensively in 2024. Ejiro helped turn the unit around and finished 16 and 15 in points allowed in 2025. Ejiro has coordinated 2 of the top 10 defenses. First were with the Broncos in 2022. They were number 7 in yards allowed. And with the Panthers, they were number 4 in yards allowed, right? So this is a guy who has a decent resume. He's not somebody who anyone is kind of saying is going to be the Raiders head coach, I don't necessarily think that he's really a viable option for the Raiders, especially with the load that the Raiders are headed up against. We're headed trying to turn around 20 years of ineptitude, right? So you got to hit on this coach. I don't think the Raiders really want to gamble, but what I think with the Evero thing, and I hate to look at it from this prism, I don't want to cheapen, his value on the coaching market, but I think he's a guy who is being used as a Rooney Rule interview. I really do. I think that's part and parcel of the reason why, he's one of the first guys they're going to interview. And then they're going to interview Mike McDaniel. And there's a possibility that Mike McDaniel could get the job. And we're going to talk about that. But I think that, especially if the Seattle Seahawks lose this weekend, and there's rumors that, Sam Darnold might not play, right? And if Sam Darnold doesn't play, we are in a situation where, Seattle has little to no shot to beat the 49ers if Sam Darnold doesn't play. So I think the way that these interviews are lining up, it looks very, very suspiciously like the Raiders are going to interview two, Black Americans, right? Because Mike McDaniels is a Rooney Rule guy, right? And then they're going to move on and try to hire Clint Kubiak. But I'm not going to disrespect Mike McDaniel like that and say that he's a Rooney Rule interview. I just think that, it's very coincidental that is something that's going to come into play right off the rip. Now, Evero, to me, 100% is a guy that, he's a bright young coordinator. I think they want to pick his brain. He's a guy that they possibly might consider for the same job. I don't necessarily know if he's able to make a lateral move or what kind of conversation. But look, the reality of the Rooney Rule is that you have to be there. There's a bit of there's a bit of skepticism that I have a lot of the times, right? Because I understand that the Rooney Rule was necessary, right? At a point, because you did have a situation where you had almost no Black coaches being hired and or interviewed. But the problem with this is that it lampoons these guys in a sense. Now, I know that they say that the Rooney Rule is a situation where a lot of these guys get interview experience. And that's great. They get interview experience. They get to see what they're up against, and it might shape them into being better coaches, right? But if we're being 100% real here, right, there's a part of it that kind of feels dismissive in a sense, right? And I don't necessarily know how to fix that. Right. I know the Rooney Rule worked at one time. I think it still works at one time. But I think that some of these organizations need to really, really just go into every interview and interview all of those guys for real and not look at them as across the bear to get over to hire the guy they really want. You know what I mean? But salute to everybody. Just salute to my brother Graphic Raider in a place to be, man. Yo, salute to my guy, Project J, becoming a YouTube member. Thank you for joining the Wasted Talent Army and making it grow in droves. Salute to my guy, Demon King. Jason, yo, appreciate you, bro. Get the 5 Raider Nation Unlimited slappies. My guy, D Rich. I personally think this is a Rooney Rule satisfaction, Pops. I expect the Raiders to hire someone after the 26th. It'll be Davis Webb or it'll be one of the McVay guys. Donkeys and lambs. How about that? Oh, my God, D Rich. It's crazy, man. This guy called me Pops, man. You better get the F up out of here, D Rich, for you get unceremoniously blocked. This is a splendiferous occasion, and you coming up in here with your crap early in the damn day. I mean, what the F is wrong with you, man? That F is going on here, man. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. Salute. So listen, let's get into this Miami thing, right? Let's get in this Miami thing, right? Listen. Miami had got rid of Mike McDaniels, right? And to me, it was bad baseball. It was bad football, bad baseball, bad management, man. I think that they did that because they had a chance to take a swing at John Harbaugh, and they got rid of the guy. And you can't tell me any different, right? But listen, up next is Mike McDaniels, right? And he's a popular coaching candidate. There are a lot of people around the league that feel like Mike McDaniel could be, a great offensive coordinator, right? Now, since being fired by the Dolphins on January the 8th, McDaniels interviewed for head coach in Atlanta, Cleveland, Baltimore, and Tennessee. He's also scheduled to meet with Detroit for the offensive coordinator opening. They need him like their life dependent on it. And now, they're bringing him here with the Raiders, and they're interviewing him on Monday. So to me, there's two good things, right? Right. On Monday, we get to see if Fernando Mendoza can be a champion and how he performs in a game versus stacked and loaded Miami team at home, right? And they also are interviewing McDaniel on a day where the Raiders are going to be in Miami to evaluate Mendoza. And they might want to get his opinion on how they feel like he can enhance what Mendoza does on the field. Now, McDaniel was 35-33 as a coach over 4 seasons in Miami. He has a 7-10 record this season. He led the Dolphins to the playoffs in 2022 and 2023. He was an assistant in San Francisco from 2017 to 2021. And his last year as the offensive coordinator, he led them to a Super Bowl where, they went to a Super Bowl, they lost. And he previously worked as a wide receiver coach for the Browns in 2014 and offensive assistant for the Falcons. So this is a guy who was, one of the shining stars of the McVay family, not the McVay family tree, but the Shanahan family tree. He's worked with Kyle Shanahan. The Shanahan family tree seems to be the dominant family tree in the National Football League, especially when it comes to developing young quarterbacks. Now, for me, I like Mike McDaniel as a play caller. I think he's one of the very best play callers that they have in football. He's one of the very best play callers that they have in football, man. He really is, man. And uses some of the RPO stuff that he does. He's very, very good developing running backs, man. He is a guy that, to me, man, when you talk about our roster, he is a guy that would get the very most out of our roster, man. He really, really would, man. I mean, this is a guy in 2022. He had his Miami Dolphins ranked 6th in total offensive yards per game. In 2022, they were first with 401 yards per game, man. In 2023, man, he also, was one of the first head coaches since Shula to have the Dolphins make back-to-back playoff appearances. Like this guy has had some success in a really bad organization, right? And when you start talking about some of what McDaniels runs, it lines up with the Raiders, man. Now, a lot of people don't know this, and a lot of people don't remember this, but when McDaniel was on the 49ers, he was their offensive coordinator. He was the guy who championed the effort to bring in George Kittle. He was a guy who pounded on the table to draft George Kittle, and they drafted him in the 5th round, and he helped develop George Kittle. My brother Graphic Raiders on his way to Oklahoma. Yo, you have a blessed day, my brother. Appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you, man. Enjoy your birthday, bro. Enjoy your birthday, my brother. Enjoy, man. But yo, my God. No denying Mike McDaniel is an offensive savant. I would love him as our head coach, surrounded by a complimentary staff in terms of expertise and personality. And I see this is the thing, right? And I'm going to be real with you and salute to my guy Intel, man. And Intel, that's exactly my sentiment. He is way too laissez-faire. He's way too lackadaisical for me. To me, the Raiders need a dynamic personality. Like the Raiders need a guy that's a leader, right? And when you have a bad football team, you have some issues there somewhere as far as from a culture perspective. And I think that Mike McDaniel is a little too lenient for my liking. That's just me. He's a little too lenient for my liking, bro. He's a little too lenient. Like, and this is the thing. I question, and this is just me. This is just me. When I see Mike McDaniel, right, and I think about myself as a man, right? When I think about myself as a man, right? When I hear Mike McDaniel talk, he is not the kind of leader that I would respond to. Myself, I am a leader, right? I'm always in positions of leadership, no matter what faction of my life that I'm in, right? And I feel like there's a certain way that leaders carry themselves, and I don't see that in Mike McDaniel. If they did hire him, and he passed the smell test for John Spytek, he passed the smell check for Tom Brady, then guess what? I'm okay with it. Because of the fact that these guys know what good look like when it comes to good coaching. They know what good looks like when it comes to leaders. These are guys who have hired, been coached by, played for great leaders. You know, Brady was coached by Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick doesn't necessarily have a dynamic personality in front of people, right? They played for Lloyd Carr at Michigan. They've been around Bo Schembechler. You know, Spytek was down there in Tampa Bay when you had Bruce Arians. BA is a great leader, great dynamic personality, but everybody doesn't have to have the personality and gravitas to the media. But what they do have to have is that effect on the guys that are in that building, the players in the building, have the ability to set the bar at a certain level. Now, I don't necessarily know if I see that from McDaniel. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily know if I see that. And see, this is the thing, man. Do MM. He goes, but there's no 50-year-old player in the NFL at Wasteland Raiders. The things that change every year remain the same, my brother. Leadership, the things that make men respond and a group of people and how to move a group of people is not germane to just age. That's not germane to age, bro. Young players and older players and people are a commodity that is always different, right? Whether you're in the military, whether you're in the work world, whether you're in the sports world, but leadership is something that does not waver. Leadership and how to move people in the same direction sometimes is a one-size-fits-all policy based off of how you reach them. So age has nothing to do with it, bro, because there are players on NFL teams that range from having families to being young guys fresh out of college, guys that got kids that, you know, about to get married and stuff like that. Like, that's how the NFL is. So it's not germane to an age, bro. It really isn't. It really isn't, man. My brother Intel, I spent many years in a tier 1 military unit, and he doesn't pass the muster for me. I know strong leaders, and he ain't it. And Intel, I'm gonna be real with you, Intel. I feel the same way, bro. I feel the same way. I like McDaniel. I would love if McDaniel were to come in here and be the offensive coordinator for whatever coach, especially if the Raiders were to go out there and go get a defensive guy. If they got a defensive guy, I would love if McDaniel was that guy, right? Are there better opportunities out there for him to be an offensive coordinator just from a talent standpoint in teams that are more ready-made? Yeah, right. The Detroit Lions, they're ready to win right now, right? He can possibly be hired as head coach for the Baltimore Ravens, right? There are a lot of teams that are looking for the services of a Mike McDaniel. But make no mistake about it. And, you know, I see the Cleveland Browns kind of being a dark horse for him because they have a young quarterback in Shedeur Sanders that they are trying to develop, right? They have talent. You know, you got Njoku and them guys over there. Harold Fannin, you know, they could run some 12 personnel. They got to get that line a little bit better. They got decent running game over there. And this is the thing, right? Kushan Jukins and them guys, they have a decent running game there. They have some pieces there. A guy like McDaniel coming in would definitely be an upgrade over what they've had, right? And that you got a ready-made defense there for him. So you could bring in a strong personality to demand that defense, and McDaniel could possibly just turn his head and focus on the offense, right? I see, and being that he has some history there, and I am sure that the owner, Jimmy Haslam, is very, very sad that he let Kyle Shanahan walk out the door, right? So I think that's part and parcel of the reason why he hired Kevin Stefanski. I think that I can see the Browns hiring this guy. I really, really can, man. I really, really can, man. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. And salute to my guy, Silver and Facts. Mendoza is an RPO heavy and an RPO heavy offense at Indiana. And yes, though these things are congruent. They are congruent. These are things that line up, man. Mendoza definitely is an RPO heavy system. And listen, that run pass option with the running back like Ashton Genty can feed families, man. I could feed families. My guy, Mendoza line with the $10 slappy. My dog. Appreciate you, man. My hope is Tom is asking himself, would this person lead Tom Brady to QB? We're not in the room, but I would be shocked if he would see that in McDaniel. See, the thing is, the public persona and the coach are two different things. The public persona and the coach are two different things. And I don't know what kind of person he is behind the scenes. I don't know what kind of coach he is to the players in that building. You know, I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I think a lot of what worked for Miami was the fact that they had an old grizzled defensive coordinator when they had Vic Fangio there, right? And I think that Vic Fangio was kind of the alpha in the room in that situation, right? And for me, my head coach not being the alpha in the room is a big problem for me. It is a big, big problem for me, man. Now, look, when we talk about the fall off of what happened with McDaniel in Miami, we got to go back to the Tua injury. Tua has not been the same player since he got the soul knocked out of him. Let's be for real, man. He hasn't been the same player. And as Tua in the quarterback position goes, normally that's the way your team goes, man. I don't know, man. Like, he is a guy that has had some success. And like I said previous to this, if they were to bring McDaniel in, he is the kind of guy that I would have questions about. I would be skeptical. And I would be very, very shocked if he wound up being the coach, man. I would be very, very shocked. Very shocked. And if he is, I'm going to support whoever the coach is. I'm not, listen, if you guys want me to come here and, mother F the guy that we hired just because it's not the person that I chose, I'm never going to do that. Because the thing is, I'm not sitting in the room when they're hiring that guy. I don't know the plans of Spytek and Brady, right? So whomever they hire, I would assume that they're going to hire a guy that aligns with their ideology. The only thing I want as a fan, and as I want as a supporter of the Raiders, and I want as a guy that's a pundit for the Raiders, I want to see everybody be on the same page. I think a lot of what happened this season is because they were not on the same page. I think a lot of what happened this season is because you have people, you got the front office and you got the coaching staff fighting against each other. Can't happen. Now, the one box that McDaniels checks me, he's innovative, he's young, he's good with quarterbacks. That's more than one box. And he also is a play caller. So my head coach will be my play caller, and that's something that I'm looking for. That is something that I'm looking for. My guy, Derek Sharp. We need an offensive-minded head coach, because if we go defensive-minded and the OC succeeds, we could lose him in 27, which could affect Mendoza's short-term development. Yes, and look, none other than the Detroit Lions. Losing Ben Johnson was rough on that organization. Dan Campbell, definitely looks like he's trying to kind of thug it out, but something is missing there. They know it. We know it. Everyone knows it. The one thing that's always rang true with the Kansas City Chiefs is Andy Reid. And that is exactly what we want here, man. Now, this is the thing, man. There are other people that are going to be that will be interviewed. It is looking like, Seattle, if Sam Darnold doesn't play, Clint Kubiak is going to be in play. There are rumors that Clint Kubiak is a guy who was highly, highly considered by the Ravens in Atlanta. And what you'd have to know is, how does Kubiak view those particular jobs? How does he view those jobs, man? That's what we got to look at. And, people are bringing up Joe Brady. Joe Brady was on my list, was at the top of my list last year. And I've seen kind of what Joe Brady has done over the years. And he's like fourth or fifth. I would rather hire a guy like Shula. I would rather hire Davis Webb before I hired Joe Brady, if I'm being honest. Seriously, man. Yo, my guy, Al King, head coach showing up to presses like he doesn't give a crap anymore, rubs people the wrong way. And I'm going to be real with you. It rubs me the wrong way. It rubs me the wrong way, 100%. Now, a lot of people saying Stefanski's the front runner for the Falcons job, and that would be good for Kevin Stefanski. That'd be good for the Falcons, man. That'd be good for the Falcons, and hopefully Kubiak's the guy, right? Hopefully he's the guy, man. You know what I mean? But yo, like, when we start talking about Joe Brady, right? You know, Joe Brady is always, you know, a candidate that's on people's, you know, interview list, man. You know, Brady is a guy who, you know, let me think how to phrase this, right? Like, Brady is a guy, man, who is like kind of been all over. He's had a great reputation, but I don't necessarily see the results, right? You know, now listen, he had some really good mentors, right? Um, he was with Franklin at Penn State, you know, he was with Eddie O at LSU. You know, he was with Sean Payton in New Orleans, right? During the last few great years with Drew Brees, right? And that's where he had a lot of his success. He's worked with Sean McDermott. So, you know, he knows what a successful organization looks like. He's kind of been around the ring, or that checks one of my box. You know, he's a good quarterback whisperer, right? He's maximized like every quarterback that he's had, regardless of play style. You know, he's still pretty young. And you know, he's a guy who gives you long-term potential to be your head coach, right? It seems like he's a guy who's willing to be flexible, right? And he hasn't run the same kind of system in every place, right? But the one thing that I worry about Brady is that he's never worked with a young QB, like a really young QB. He's kind of benefited from strictly veterans, man. And I want to see how it would be if he works with a young guy that he has to develop and build from the ground up, man. I really, really do, man. So listen, Sam Darnold is playing. We don't know how well he's going to play as an oblique injury. He's probably going to have some issues throwing the football, but we got to see how this rolls, man. We got to see how this rolls, man. We have to. Salute to everybody in the chat. Get wasted with your brother, Way Six. So guys, look, man, we covered the Mike McDaniel situation, bro. We're covering the Joe Brady situation, right? And look, there are a lot of guys that are out there, man. There are a lot of guys that are out there. Besides Kubiak, man, you know, you have Mike LaFleur. You got Matt, you got Mike LaFleur. I mean, you got Kubiak's brother as well that is interviewing. You know, there are a lot of very, very good offensive guys on the board, man. And this is really, you know, what we really want as an organization, right? Because, yo, like we said, Fernando Mendoza is the guy that is on the menu. And we got to have somebody that is going to be able to develop that talent, man. But, yo, to me, Kubiak's the guy, man. He really is, man. I mean, look, man, when you got a situation like this, man, you know, you got to hope that the Raiders make a full court press on Clint Kubiak whenever he becomes available. And hopefully he's available soon, right? Because to me, I have no love for the Seattle Seahawks. I remember when they were in the AFC West, right? The Raiders had an interview with Kubiak on Friday, and let's just hope that the 38-year-old will be ready to really dive into the process of being the next Raider head coach, man. Now, you know, the Seahawks are a team that kind of turned it around this year. Like, people were saying that the offense would be their Achilles heel, and the unit ranked third in the league and scoring at 8 in total yards, man. You know, and this is a guy that has turned several situations around, been in several different offenses. To me, he's the guy, man. Now, Kubiak should probably want the opportunity to coach Mendoza, man. You know, Mendoza has been drawing rave reviews from a lot of people, you know, and look, man, I'm going to be real with you, man. Like, to me, that is a pairing that'll feed families, man. There's so many young pieces where, you know, you got a lot of people that are talking about the Raiders like we're some destitute franchise with no talent, and that's devoid of talent. Let me tell you something, man. The Raiders, if you look at what John Spytek did, John Spytek set this team up for success in the future with some of these young draft picks that are gonna, like, to me, right? I see the pendulum swinging in a way where this line, at the very minimum, is gonna be a middle of the road line, man. You know, and there were a lot of people that were kind of talking about this crap. There were a lot of people who were acting like the Raiders are a bad situation, bro. And what I'm going to say to you is it's really, really not, bro. They're one free agent away from being a really dominant unit on his offense, right? And there are a lot of people that, you know, to me, man, kind of, it feels like they have like a low-key an agenda against the Raiders' success, man. You know, Pro Football Talk put out this bogus article about us having to trade for Lamar Jackson, which I think is completely asinine. Completely asinine. I mean, just ridiculously, man. I mean, it makes no sense for the Raiders to even entertain that, bro. To even entertain it, right? You know what I mean? And it's crazy, right? Like, you know, when we start talking about, you know, Fernando Mendoza, when you start talking about the Raiders, right? There are a lot of people that like to put out their supposed opinions, right? And I don't know if you guys heard Derek Carr and him and his brother, you know, on their podcast, talking about the Raiders not being ready for a quarterback. And to me, I just really think that I'm gonna let you guys see this, right? I'm gonna let you guys see this, right? And I'm gonna play the clip from Carr and his brother David. They have their podcast, the Homegrown Podcast. Salute to them. But I want to know what you guys think about this. We talked about this.
I'm all against that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I am all against it.
I'm with you. Yeah.
I don't know if they're ready for that. I mean, there's so many holes.
Because I mean, you got a great back, and we can't run the ball yet.
Yes.
At Indiana, that's all they do is run the ball.
There's no young quarterback that you're just going to insert.
Right.
Unless they fix other things.
Yeah.
If you just go out there and say, the quarterback's coming, he's going to fix it. Geno can read coverage.
Yeah.
Geno knows where to go with the ball.
Can go in and play.
Aiden knows coverage.
Yeah.
He can read the like, there's no young guy that's going to know more ball than them right now.
No.
You see what I'm
100% with you.
I don't see someone that is just so crazy different schematically like a Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, dude, exactly.
Or someone that you can just come in and run something totally different.
Yeah, and like even going back to like, do you just see the most impressive pocket pass you've ever, like Mendoza's a good player. He makes some big throws and like,
of course,
but all of the components around him are.
So look, salute to everybody in the chat. Get wasted with your brother Wasted. Tell a friend to tell a friend, right? What do y'all think, man? What do y'all think, man? Do y'all think that DC has the best intentions, right? Do you think that, you know, Derek is speaking the truth, or do you think that there's a hidden agenda there? Do y'all think there's a hidden agenda there? Now, you guys, look, man, I'm no Carr apologist. I'm no Carr hater. You know, I enjoyed his time when he was here, when he was playing well, and when he wasn't, I thought it was time to move on, right? And I gotta ask y'all, man, what do y'all think about this? What do y'all think about this? Like, I really want to know, man. What do y'all think about this? Do y'all think DC is do you guys think DC has the best intentions for the Raiders? Do you? Do you think that he has the best intentions for the Raiders, or do you think that he's being a bit of a hater? I mean, I'm just asking, guys. Do you guys think that Derek is in line for an award? I mean, y'all gotta let me know here, man. Y'all gotta let me know something here. Y'all gotta let me know something, bro. Y'all gotta let me know something, man. In the chat, let me know. What do y'all think about this? What do y'all think about this, man? Yo, I know y'all going crazy, right? Is Derek Carr up for Player Hater of the Year? Yo, is DC up for Player Hater of the Year, y'all? I'm just asking. I mean, what do y'all think? What do y'all think, y'all? Is DC up for Player Hater of the Year, y'all? Oh my God. Yo, what do y'all think, bro? I need to know, man. Chat. Is this a situation where we need to make sure that we ring the alarms? Or do we boo this man? Yo, salute to everybody in the chat, y'all. Can't wait to what your brother wasted, yo. So that's a classic GIF right there. What do y'all think, man? Carr still thought that he's getting unceremoniously blocked. My God, True North Raider. The bigger point that the Raiders need to go all in on the trenches. It isn't wrong, but you can't pass up on Mendoza. Like, bro, to me, right? Like, if you got the number 1 pick in the draft, what team is ready? Like most of the time when you got the number 1 pick, that is where you take the best quarterback in that year's draft, because apparently you're terrible, right? It's very rare you have a situation where you have a team that already has located the quarterback and possibly, they didn't play the kid and then they wind up with the number 1 pick the next year and they take a wide receiver or a defensive end or something like that. But most of the time throughout the history of the league, when you got the number 1 pick, you need a quarterback and you got to go out there. And there's more than one way to address some of these issues. There's the free agent wire. There's other rounds in the draft besides round 1. Let's be for real here. Like if the team has other holes, you can fill them there. But you got a team with $106 million and they don't really have anybody on their roster that is making big money besides Max. Why the hell would you not go and draft a quarterback? It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. Like, to me, it sounds like, because I've been hearing Derek Carr and David trying to find a way for Derek to come back to high school, to come back in to a situation where he goes back to where he felt comfortable. It feels like that to me. Salute to my guy, Raider Jimmy. Are you and Graphic going live for the game Monday? Yes, we are. He's doing a I think him and Hammer are doing a live stream. I'm gonna do a pre and a post game show. But yes, we are, man. Salute to my guy, Raider Jimmy Barbecue, man. But yeah, I think DC need to get the F up out of here, man. He need to get out of here with that. Yo, game number 1, you are tripping, bro. I saw your comment. He says that he's not sold on Mendoza. That is your right. Trade down for what? Why would I want Kyler Murray, bro? You tell me. Why the hell would I want Kyler Murray? Kyler Murray's undersized. Kyler Murray is injury prone. And Kyler Murray, I don't know how much he likes to play football. I'm not drafting these small quarterbacks. I'm not drafting Trinidad Chambliss, bro, that had a nice little run at the end of the season. And if you look at the rest of his college career, Trinidad Chambliss was a Division II guy. I'm going to trade down and take Trinidad Chambliss and put the future of this organization in his shoulders when I got a 6'5" stud who processes well, who's a good person, who I know at the minimum is going to work hard. Why the hell would we want that? Why? Why the hell would we want that? Hell no. Absolutely hell to the no. No. The F up out of here with that crap. The F is wrong with you, bro. I'm willing. A lot of people are so scared to roll the dice and take a quarterback and commit to him. Everybody's scared to commit to a new coach. You can build the team with the picks that you have. You can build a team through free agency. The F are we talking about? What are we talking about? Why would you not take Fernando Mendoza? I mean, why wouldn't you take this guy? Why would you not want this guy as your quarterback?
For having me on. This is the third week we're doing this for the playoffs, so hopefully the third time's a charm. And, we cap another week off 1-0. And like you said, this game means a lot to myself. We're playing at the University of Miami, in Miami. And so there could be a lot of emotions. However, my perspective has always been to widen it and realize how much this means to all of my teammates, all of my coaches, and not just myself. It means so much national championship game that I am doing everything possible for preparation because I owe it to my teammates, my coaches, and Hoosier Nation.
Well, one of the
man, God damn it. Are you sick? Anybody that say, yo, that they don't want this kid, you guys are effing crazy. You are effing crazy. Look, even if he doesn't get to the level we think, it's worth a fucking shot. It's worth a shot. I can't handle another year of somebody else's quarterback under center for us. I want my guy. It's worth a goddamn shot. Let's stop thinking like losers, bro. That's a loser mentality to go out there and not be brave enough to invest in somebody. Bro, listen, if he's Derek Carr 2.0, if he's just this much better, then that means, guess what? That means we probably win playoff games and win a Super Bowl. No more of this nonsense. I don't want everybody else's quarterback. I want my quarterback. I want my guy right here, suiting up in silver and black for the first time. The F is up with you guys. Talking about some damn Kyler Murray. Kyler effing Murray. A guy that they had to put in his contract that he has to watch a certain amount of film. Why would you have to put that in this guy's contract? You tell me why. You tell me why. Why the F would that be something that you want under center? It's effing ridiculous. It is ridiculous. This is the guy you guys want to bring here? You want to bring this guy here? He's a professional football player, right? Well, he's actually a professional video game player that masquerades as a football player. He's a jack of all trades and a master of none. Why the F would I want that guy here? And you guys, do me a favor. Pay your bar tabs. Get wasted with your brother wasted. Pay your effing bar tabs. Only 200 likes. We got almost 800 in the room with the F's going on. That's right. A jackass of all trades. Mendoza don't even have social media. That shit matters, bro. The F up out of here with that crap. Pay your bar tabs, y'all. But y'all, listen. So for me, right? We've covered the McDaniel stuff, right? We covered Elijah Ejiro Evero. I don't even pronounce his name right. Look, I don't think this. I think this is much to do about nothing is Evero stuff, right? You know, people say he's a dark horse candidate. I think that's a load of hooey. It's bullshit. I think it's really a Rooney Rule hire. Man, it's just Rooney Rule shit. That's really what I feel, man. I'm sorry, man. Pigs pig. Bro, half our team should spend less time playing video games. Jack Jones put many hours on COD. Perhaps that's our culture and the culture of other teams. That's the culture of just dealing with young men, bro. Dealing with young men. Dealing with young men, bro. This the thing, though. There's a balance to that. I don't think, listen, I am not the guy that says that you shouldn't play video games. Hell, I play video games from time to time. But you got to keep the main thing the main thing. I'm not at home when I'm supposed to be at work playing video games. You know, I'm not at home playing video games, right? And listen, I don't want my quarterback doing that shit. Hey, bro, hey, listen, Pig, you're one of these guys who go way too far to the left or to the right. The answer's in the middle. All these guys play video games. All these guys throughout the league. You can't tell me that guys on the Chiefs, fucking Patrick Mahomes plays video games, bro. What are you talking about? It's culturally, they're in that generation. Like, I'm from the generation. Like, I had ColecoVision, I had Atari, I had Nintendo, I had all of this shit, right? But my generation, we are the first video game generation. So we play, but we know how to put that shit down. The kids now that are around, I have college age kid. These kids grew up with that shit their whole life. And it is that's why there's no more Toys R Us, because kids play video games. And I think that it's cool, but it's a problem, because at the end of the day, you don't learn how to dream, imagine, and think from an abstract point of view when you just play video games. You don't use your imagination in the same way as we used to. But listen, for me, I just noticed. Yeah, Pig, I get it. That's what I'm saying. Kyler Murray, it's fucking crazy that they had to put that in a contract for the #1 pick. So that goes to tell me that he's a guy that's not in his fucking playbook, bro. He's a guy that's not a team guy. You're absolutely right about Kyler Murray. I don't want Kyler Murray here at all. But the problem is, bro, we're in a post-dystopian novel right now. We're in a situation where we are currently living in a Hunger Games right now. Let's be for real here. We are living in Ready Player One right now. We are living in Ready Player One right now. Like we literally are, bro. Like VR headsets and cell phones. It's so bad right now, bro. My kids tell me all the time, bro. Give you an example. My brother-in-law, salute to my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law is younger than me. He's dating and stuff like that. I think he's got a girl now. I'm not really sure. I haven't talked to him really. You know, I talked to him, but I don't really want to talk like I haven't talked to him like that in a while. But I remember a year or two ago, he was telling me he was going out on dates. He went out on a date with a particular girl, said the girl was in her phone the whole fucking time. He was like, well, this isn't going anywhere. Cool. Because my brother-in-law is a lot younger than us. My brother-in-law, I've been with my wife, you know what I mean? Shit, I've been with my wife 25 years. My brother-in-law is fucking, is 30. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know my brother-in-law since he was 2-3 years old, you know? So I'm essentially his older brother. You know what I mean? Like, I've known him his whole life. And he grew up around me, grew up around his older sisters. So he has older cousins. So he has the mentality of a kid who was born in the 80s and the 90s. So he's dating a girl, and the girl was in her phone the whole time. He said, yo, man, it's not going well. Whatever, you know, whatever, cool, screw her. The girl calls him back and says, I had a wonderful time. He was like, yo, what the hell is wrong with people nowadays? And I'm telling you now, there's something to be said about technology. They say technology brings you closer. Right now, I'm on technology. We're all on technology. It's bringing us closer. It's bringing Raider fans together. Right? But it also can bring you far apart, because we think that because we have this, that we don't have to do the little things, that we don't have to tap in with each other. Like, long gone are the days when you ride past people's houses and you see a bunch of BMX bikes in front of their house. And Everybody's in there. And for us to play video games, we had to play them sitting next to each other. I remember me and my boys playing Madden and getting the league, and we all had to go to each other's house to play. Long gone are those days, man. Long gone are those days, man. You know, and I don't mean to get on my soapbox, guys. No, he has one. He's good. He has one. He's good. He don't need no passport, bro. There's a lot of beautiful sisters and lot of beautiful just women, period, here in America, bro. He ain't got to go do all that passport bro stuff. Like, come on, bro. Super red pill guy over there. Salute. But gaming professionally is totally different. And that's the problem I have with that. They're wasted. We had to work to get back there. That's right, bro. Yeah, man. All that shit is bullshit, man. There's a lot of beautiful women here. There's a lot of good women here. There's a lot of good men in America. I just think that, when you get tapped into that algorithm, if you get tapped into the wrong algorithm, it makes you think that people are worse than they are. You know what me being on YouTube shows me, right? And I don't look, we're gonna get back to the Raiders. I don't like to talk personal shit. What it shows me is this. There's so many good people out here. There's so many good people, man. Like, just from my community here, right? There's so many good people that I've met. You know what I mean? The world isn't as far gone as we think. It's not as far gone as we think, bro. You know what I mean? That's just my personal opinion, bro. Salute to my guy, Rich Gonzalez, with the $10 slap-a-room. All of a sudden, we got the #1 pick in the media and our own fans. Raider Nation doesn't want us to get a quarterback. Are we living in crazy town? Yeah, man. Yeah, we are. I mean, guys, let me ask you guys something, bro. Did you guys see Pro Football Talk? Look, you guys know I'm not big fans of those guys over there. I'm not fans of Mike Florio. I think he's an effing jackwagon. I can't stand that guy. Cannot stand that guy, right? Cannot stand Mike Florio. Cannot stand him. I'm sorry, bro. I can't stand the guy. And I think that there's a concerted effort to try to sink the Raiders. I don't care what anybody says. I think a lot of these guys, they want to see the Raiders be down. They want to see us down. It's sad, bro. It's sad. They want to see us be the effing laughing stock. They want to see that, bro. Do you know that these guys are proposing that the Raiders trade for Lamar fucking Jackson? For what? Who's ever won an MVP somewhere else? It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Ridiculous, man. Now that we got the #1 pick, now everybody's saying, oh, there's no way you should be taking Fernando Mendoza. Oh, no, you need to trade that pick and trade down. Oh, no, you got to fill all these holes. There's no possible way you can fill the holes on the team without trading the #1 pick. Get the fuck out of here. Excuse my language. I know this is a family show, everybody. If the Jets had the #1 pick, nobody would be saying that. And this is an organization that has ruined countless quarterbacks. My God, Lamar Valentine. I stopped reading Pro Football Talk crap years ago. You should. F them. It's crazy, yo. It's unbelievable. Yo, and salute to my guy, Lamar Valentine, a.k.a. young Billy Ray Valentine. What you know about Billy Ray Valentine, man? The same guys that like Pete Carroll hire and Geno Smith sign and want us to trade out. Nah, homie, give me Mendoza. Now, look, the thing is that, bro, when stuff like that happens, I wasn't totally against Pete because I know he's had success somewhere else. I said, hey, why not? Let's see what happens. Let's see if it works. It didn't work. All good, right? My God, Laker Nation. I've noticed ever since we've obtained the first pick in the draft, we don't even get that much coverage. If this was the Giants or the Jets, anywhere else, they would get the NFL draft coverage in the world. Listen, you can't expect for the Raiders to get the same coverage as the New York Giants. The New York Giants are the #1 football team and the #1 media market in the world. It's not going to happen. There are certain teams. I think the Raiders are a blue blood franchise, right? But the Giants, the Packers, Cowboys, the Steelers, Giants, Packers, Steelers, Cowboys, Chicago Bears, these are the blue blood franchises, bro. They're some of the first franchises in the National Football League before there was an AFL, right? And the Cardinals are not one of those. They're one of the originals, but because they were the Chicago Cardinals, but they're not a blue blood franchise. But the New York Giants are that. They are that. And listen, they're gonna cover the Giants because they're in New York. They're in New York, and we're in a sports market that we're trying to establish now. We're currently trying to establish that kind of history. You know, and you know, breaking news: the John Harbaugh deal is finalized. So that's one of them guys you can get off the board. And I don't necessarily think the Raiders are in the media black hole, bro. Like, you know, the Titans are in Tennessee. That's something different. The Raiders are the Raiders, right? So just by virtue of us being one of the most recognizable franchises in all the sports, we are not one of those people who are in that kind of neither world when it comes to media coverage. We're the Raiders, right? The Titans used to be the Houston Oilers. They're not anymore. So they've tried to transition, and you know, it hasn't really worked. But we the Raiders. Don't ever forget that. I ain't gonna downplay my Raiders now. ESPN is basically New York media. The NFL headquarters is in New York. And of course, they would sabotage and try to get the Raiders to pass up on Mendoza. They want him in New York. Hopefully, we don't take the bait. If they take the bait, bro, I'm telling you now, you're going to have people running for the doors. And UA Mel is absolutely right. Most of the South, most of the Bible Belt are college football people. You know, like, listen, the Titans are down there, but the Tennessee Volunteers reign supreme in Tennessee. One of my closest friends lives down there. He told me how it is down there. Salute to my guy Vega, man. Salute to my guy Vega. More breaking news. Guys, breaking news for one of our record-breaking episodes. Bodega Raider has just gotten blocked. Salute to Bodega, man. Breaking news. Bodega has gone to the gulags. He has gone to the gulags. Bodega, follow legend. Bounce out of here. The F up out of here, Bodega. 5 minutes for you, my man. 5 minutes. Yo, when the Raiders were kicking everybody's ass, the NFL was better. From snake to Plunkett. My guy, Eric Vincent Carbone, where the F you been, my brother? Where you been? Salute, man. Salute, man. Die Hard Raider, I don't know, man. He's a special case, man. A special effing case, man. Yo, we got some ball today, man. We got some ball. We're going to get some of the answers we need today, guys. Yeah, it's funny. Hey, let me ask you guys a question. Did you guys happen to see what Darren Waller had to say about Mike McDaniel? Did you guys get a chance to check that out, man? I wanted to let you know some of the guys who like Mike, because I'm not sleeping on Mike McDaniel. I think he's a good coach. I just don't necessarily know if I want him as my head coach, right? But I wanted to share this with you guys, right? This is Darren Waller about
he's like he's a human computer, bro. Like, it's crazy. There was we played the Chargers, bro. This dude started making up formations, bro, and he broke down, like he was telling us this. He broke down how the Chargers, how their quarters defense is set up. They and when they have, like, if you put 4 to a side, they put everybody over into the corner of the formation. He's like, wherever we run this play from, it was like basically like a G scheme to the right. He's like, wherever we run this play is going to hit for a touchdown. And it was early in the game, and Vaughn scored from like 60-something on the play because we put 4 into the boundary, and he figured out that defenses shit themselves. If you put somebody like in a slot formation, but they're 5 yards in the backfield, they don't know how to treat him as a running back or as a slot receiver.
So if he's pretty much even with the quarterback and you just move him out 8 yards to the left of where the quarterback is and you just flex him out like that, they have no idea.
They had no idea what to do. There's a whole bunch of teams we started playing from there to where the run game really took off. Because
salute to Waller the Baller, y'all. And salute to Waller the Baller and Johnny Foosball. I mean, my God, man, you got 2 of the worst rappers in the history of the world right there. Johnny Foosball and Darren Waller. Salute, yo. My guy, UAML. I'm telling you, McDaniels is the guy. We would regret not hiring him if we don't. So let me ask you a question, UA. And for all you guys, is this your number one guy? Who's your number one guy? Do you have Mike McDaniel raced as your number one guy? Like as an offensive coordinator, I'd be 110 out of 10 pick, right? I like McDaniel. I don't like his leadership ability. Like being a coach is more just about X's and O's, right? It's also about the Jimmies and Joes. You got to have them in the building, and you have to have a way to connect with them. Do you think that Mike McDaniel, from what you've seen, is an effective leader? But you guys, let me know. Who do you guys have as your number one guy? Smooth says Davis Webb, yo. Bad feeling it might be Salah for head coach wasted. Yo, look. I don't really like as a leader. I'm not really sold on dude. I'm not, and he's done a very good job. He's done a very good job. And the thing about McDaniel that I think is a good thing, and the thing with Kubiak as well, right? It is a situation where you open yourself up because it's more than just the head coach, right? It's the whole staff, right? You open yourself up to have a terrific staff because of the relationships those guys have in the National Football League. And listen, players, people in the work world, people respect well-versed, well-knowledge people. So you get respect from just being a brilliant head coach. So when we talk about the true leader of men stuff, right? They used to say that Antonio Pierce was a true leader of men. There has to be substance behind that leadership, right? Like, so you being an effective leader, where are you leading us to? Once we get to that place that we're trying to move together as a group, do you know how to direct us once we get there? Do you? Look, for me, lenient coaches are not my cup of tea, right? Very super lenient coaches. I like my coach to be a little bit of a dictator, right? The coaches that I respect the most in this league, are Andy Reid, and in the past, guys like Bill Walsh was a great coach, and Gru had his time, and Bill Parcells is a guy that I respect immensely. McDaniels definitely is a damn sure great play caller, right? But what I have trouble with McDaniel, and this is getting back to the McDaniel thing, is what I have trouble with is, was he the alpha in that locker room, or was it Vic Fangio? Did they have issues down there with players and discipline? Especially with a guy down there where, when I look at Tyreek Hill didn't seem to be as much of a problem in Kansas City. Now, does that have, the fact that he could start getting the money and he hadn't gotten his money yet? Because money kind of highlights who you are as a person. But he definitely had Tua moving in the right direction. So what I'll tell y'all is this. If we hire Mike McDaniel, and I'm gonna reiterate what I said earlier in the episode, I am okay with it. And I'm going to tell you why I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because that means he passed the smell test with Brady and Spytek, and they know what good looks like. So what happened was players got injured. Simple as that. There's a piece of that. It's never that simple. It's never that cut and dry. They say Kubiak isn't a leader of men. My guy, Ruben Rush, man. McDaniels will work wonders with Mendoza. Who would he bring in as a DC would be my biggest question. And is he going to be able to keep the guys in line, especially in Las Vegas? Shit. Would he be in line, right? And that's the thing. But, you know, the one thing is this. It's not like Miami is not a fun time, too. And he did okay down there. He did okay down there. But the thing is, once again, you know, Las Vegas is, when you talk about Las Vegas, you talk about, you know, Miami, places like that are entertainment hubs, a lot of beautiful women, a lot of things to do, right? That's a thing, right? I would not be against hiring Mike McDaniel. He's not my number one guy, right? I kind of want to go with a first-time head coach. That's me, right? But you guys tell me what y'all think, man. Y'all tell me what you think. And Mike McDaniel definitely looks like he knows how to party, right? He comes to work with his tuxedo t-shirt. You know, like, hey, listen, that means that, you know, he means business, but he knows how to party. Vegas is a different city. The atmosphere is a bit different. Yeah, it's a different city, but it's a city that has its own pitfalls, right? Vegas has its pitfalls, and so does Miami. You guys act like they, you know, he coached in Mayberry or something like that. The guy didn't coach in Mayberry. My guy, Big Mike Raiders in the place, man. Salute, Big Mike. Die Hard Raider. It's the last thing we're going to talk about. We're going to get on out of here, man. We've been rocking and rolling for over an hour, yo. How y'all feel about Robert Saleh? Or is his defensive-minded head coach out of the question? No. Look, number one on my list, and I don't want to keep repeating myself. I don't want to be a broken record here. But number one on my list is a young, innovative, offensive head coach. Because if he's the head coach, the system stays with him. If you get a defensive guy and you do well initially, it's great. But once that guy moves on, the offensive guy, because he is undoubtedly, if he has some mark of success, he's going to get a job. What happens when he leaves? Now, with my young quarterback, if I'm operating under the guides that I am having Fernando Mendoza here, my offensive strategy and playbook might change, and it might not line up with my quarterback. And I want my quarterback to have the same system. The same system. I want my quarterback to stay on track for the next 8 to 10 years. I think, you know, on one side of a lot of these guys, there is a lot of talent, right? Guys like Mahomes, right? But on the other side of Mahomes' greatness is the mastery of the offense, mastery of the position. See, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for mastery of the quarterback position, bro. Mastery. Especially, you know, when you have a team that is looking like it is about to be an offensive-led team. You look at where all the resources have been drafted on this team. It's been on all sides, offensive side of the ball. You got one star in the defense. That's max. It's no more Nate Hobbs. No more. You got one star over there. And see, Snipe, that's definitely a big factor. But what you got to look at is that you got a whole bunch of Shanahan, McVay family tree guys. That is a large fraternity. There's a lot of talented football minds in those buildings. So there are a lot of people who are in line to get promoted. There are a lot of people. So, you know, as Kubiak goes, so does some of these other guys. So do some of these other guys. Yeah, you are 100% right. You ain't met who would be. Joe Montana wouldn't have been Joe Montana without Bill Walsh. You know, Tom Brady wouldn't be Tom Brady without Bill Belichick. Of course not. Listen, it's an amalgamation of things when you start going towards the success metric. There's an amalgamation of things that have to get for you to get to mastery, for you to get to greatness. Greatness is not common, bro. Greatness is not common. Brandon Coleman. Webb is one guy we don't know what scheme he'll have, but we know from all accounts we could have a head coach whiz kid. He's young. Why not take a chance? We know he's good with QBs. I mean, look, Davis Webb would be like hiring Sean McVay, right? It would be like hiring Lane Kiffin on steroids. And I'm going to tell you why. Because this is a guy who has never been an offensive coordinator and or play caller. He's never been a play caller. Like, play calling is not just play design. It is knowing when to call that play. It is knowing when to apply that knowledge. He might be horrendous at that. He might be horrendous at that. You know? So, look, man, I'm going to be positive. I'm cool with McDaniels. I have question marks about his leadership. Cool with Clint Kubiak. I got question marks about his leadership as well. Right? Davis Webb, but we wound up with Davis Webb, then, man, he must have knocked their socks off. And I'll sit there and I'll be waiting to see how that happens. But I am personally, Davis Webb is not the guy I'm hiring because he's never been a play caller. If he's going from offensive coordinator to coach at that young age, I got to take that chance. But McVay was an offensive coordinator. This is more like Lane Kiffin. And this is another thing. And Judge Judo Black is right. Not Judge, but Judo Joe Black. He goes, what kind of staff will Webb bring in? Should be a question too. Will he be able to convince a top DC to come here? Probably not. Because he hasn't really been around the league. He hasn't developed them relationships on the same level as guys that have been coaching for 15 years. It's a little bit different, bro. Said more like AP. Well, yeah, it's exactly because Kiffin's hire was the same kind of a deal. Yeah, very similar, bro. Very, very similar. Guys, get your questions in. Get your questions in. We're about to wrap this episode of Raider Nation Unlimited up. It's almost 4:00. Salute to everybody in the chat. Football is coming on. I will be dropping some more shorts. We'll be dropping some more. Salute to my guy, Trevor Mark. Wasted. Love the show, but I disagree with the Carr Bros. But they are right. Only one thing. Geno Smith could read defenses. He knew where to throw it to. Yes, that's right. The one thing Geno knew how to do was he was amazing at completing passes to the defense this year. Amazing. I've never seen a quarterback that proficient and efficient at getting the defense in a position to make plays. I don't know. Just seen Josh Allen and Davis Webb catching up before the game. Yeah, he might be lit. I mean, bro, just because he got a good relationship with these guys don't mean he know how to call plays, bro. And listen, he said, yo, chill on dropping them shorts, bro. Mike, get the F up out of here, man. Up out of here with your crap, big Mike. Effing bum. Let me tell you something. Listen, I have been asked and commissioned to drop my shorts on many times than I'd like to count. The F up out of here with your crap. This is a family show, Big Mike. Lewis Dixon, Wildcat. Wasted. I really like Mike McDaniels too. I wish we could get him as an OC. I saw where he would be happy as an OC. Maybe Salah's head coach. A good friend with Mike McDaniel. What do you think? That'd be great. But I think that he's going to be offered a head coach. There are too many guys that don't have any experience. And he has actually, he has an above 500 record as a coach, where some of these guys don't. And yo, in Rosetown said, yo, Paul's wasted. It's a family show. My daughter's listening. Yes, it is a family show. F up out of here. Big Mike. He said Big Mike with the fat feet barbecue. Yeah, stupid, yo. Wasted. Do you want Mendoza to start the year or do you want him to sit? All depends on how he looks in preseason. It depends on our quarterback situation, if it makes sense. The way I like to bring my quarterbacks along, I like for them to play preseason. I like them to sit for the first 2 or 3 games, maybe the fourth game, the first quarter of the season. If the guy that we have as the placeholder isn't playing competitive football, sit him down and start the kid. And if not, let him start, let him sit the whole season like Mahomes did. Let him, and then, play him like the last 2 games of the season, see what you got, and hit the ground running in the next year, man. But I think that, the nation is so hyped up for this guy. I have no idea, man. You know what I mean? But look, man, salute to my guy showing thoughts in the place. Salute, man. But guys, look, I think it's about time to wrap this thing up, man. Wasted after our first round. Did we trade picks for anybody in particular? I mean, no, I don't think you really have to. I think you just go BPA all the way down, man. BPA all the way down. But guys, look, I think it's about time to run the train back into the train station. It's about that. Everybody in here. Salute to my guy, Big Mike Raider, for the worst joke of the day. Nah, man. Salute y'all, man. Hey, but guys, look, we're gonna be back at you. My guy, Ruben Russ. We all know our next head coach before the Shrine Bowl. We know our next head coach before the Shrine Bowl, the 27th. You got to know your next head coach before the Shrine Bowl. I seen something. I don't know if it's credible or not, but some candidates for the Raiders would watch Mendoza on Monday with Spy Tech. Thoughts? I think that McDaniel is the guy that's going to watch him. And I think, they don't need to be at the game with the Raiders to watch Mendoza. They don't need to. They can watch the all 22. They can watch the game. That everybody's scouting this kid. So, yeah, but listen. I think that Monday, McDaniel probably would be afforded that opportunity. He would be afforded that opportunity, man. But guys, I think it's time for us to wheel the train back into the train station again, yo. And Bodega Raider is a filthy individual, man. Running the choo-choos, man. What a effing bum. What a effing bum. Salute. My guy, congrats on 4 million plus views. Well deserved. Appreciate it, man. And it's been a long, I appreciate all the support. Thank every single one of y'all. Couldn't have got there without every single one of you guys. Salute to my guy, Raider Jeff. My guy, man. Salute to all of the guys in the black hole that I know. All of the guys, my guy, Raider Bridge. Salute to them guys over there at Peter Dillon's in New York and the Silver and Black Empire. Salute to them guys over there. Salute to my brother Hug D's. Thank you guys. Thank you, man, for all y'all support, man. And we're gonna continue to try to give you the best content possible, man. But I want to thank every single one of y'all. Without y'all, this channel is nothing without you guys. Salute to every single one of y'all, man. Y'all have a great, great day. Watch some ball. Enjoy yourselves, man. And listen, on the way out, Bodega, back to the good ones. You're up out of here. Salute to everybody, man. We out of here today, man. Peace.